How was the morning?
It was great. I am super impressed, and I honestly believe what you guys are building is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because like you said to me off camera it's like we're teaching people how to run a franchise organization that aren't franchises.
Yes.
They're systematizing the heck out of everything they do, and it's brilliant. So
Yeah.
kudos.
Amazing, thanks. The thing that really inspires me when it comes to franchising is like you talk about all the time, it's all about the people. And with a franchise system, and this is exactly what we're trying to replicate, you can develop people's skills, you can build systems, and you can develop that performance culture. What is it like for you within O2E Brands and 1-800-GOT-JUNK? What has been the role of performance culture and community for you guys as it comes to inspiring people to build better businesses and better lives?
Well, we hear from our franchise partners constantly. You know, some have been in for 20 years with 1-800-GOT-JUNK or 3 years for ShackShine, and they'll say things like, "This has changed my life." They've changed their own lives, but they've been in this framework of high energy, lots of fun, big ideas. So I see my role as to challenge the status quo of where they're at. How can you think bigger? How can you think 10 million versus 2 million? How can you think owning multiple cities, multiple franchises? How can you be better for the customer? So I think our role at O2E is, even it's in the name, ordinary to exceptional. How do you take something ordinary and make it so exceptional through everything you do?
Right, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. When we talk about growth of business in a healthy way, and we talked a lot about this on stage of a lot of people want to grow relatively inorganically and push growth and force growth in revenue numbers, whether it's for ego or other reasons. When you're working with, or your team is working with franchise partners, what's the role of systems and processes and structures to keep growth in control and in check?
To me, systems I would describe as a best practice. What is that? I love that this is fireside and the real fire, the real logs falling.
The real thing.
I love that systems are, what is the best practice for something in your business? So in my business, in junk removal, how do you greet the customer when you first show up on site? There's a process. You introduce yourself, shake their hand, ask if you can see the junk. And it's one of those things where you write down and you organize your best practices so that you've got consistency. A brand stands for the experience the customer expects and will get delivered. And so if you're using FedEx as a brand, you expect it to be there overnight. You expect that there's no delays, even if there's weather, it happens. They're reliable. What is your brand? What does my brand stand for? And making sure through systems you're delivering that each and every time. We're not going to get it perfect. It's not going to be all, but you want the brand through reputation to stand for something where someone goes, you know what? 1-800-GOT-JUNK or ShackShine, like they're nailing this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they are. When it comes to people, one of the things that I think you guys are best in the world at, and as we said, nobody's perfect, but you've created such a tremendous culture of happy, fun people. What has been your number one key to making that happen over all these years?
Hire happy people.
Happy people.
So a brand I love, not just because I love and am addicted to coffee, but Starbucks. No matter what Starbucks I go to on the planet, just about every single time, the baristas are friendly. They're smiley. They ask you about your life. Like they just are connected.
Yeah.
Starbucks hires people that are already good, happy people. And I think that that's a big key to business success and certainly ours.
Totally. And we can train a lot of things, but can't really train that one. No, absolutely. And we had some interesting questions there, one of which was around technology and AI as it pertains to these industries. What's your take on that? We work in industries that are relatively laborious and manual. The human experience will, for the very foreseeable future, I think, be the human experience. What's your take on that? Are you focused on disruptive technologies and AI and things like that, or are you pretty focused on that human element still?
Yeah, still on the human element. I think that's the secret sauce in our business. O2E is people.
Right.
Ordinary people doing exceptional things for the customer. Technology is a tool. And I think that if we look at technology and think, how can it make the last mile, the customer experience better?
Right.
So using DoorDash, I gave that as an example on stage. you know where the driver is, you know how far away, you get a text saying, put your pants on, come to the door kind of thing. Like, they've nailed the communication, and they've used technology to make the customer experience seamless, easy, and better.
Totally. Yeah.
So I think, if I look at AI, if I think of junk removal, 1-800-GOT-JUNK, or painting with Wow One Day Painting, I've talked to some AI experts through a TED conference that I went to, and I sat at a round table with a bunch of AI specialists and was asking about our business, and they said, in our lifetimes, we will not see that AI is going to be set up where junk removal is hauled away by bots. Right. You can't tell what's junk and what's not. I mean, it's a complicated thing. Same with painting walls. So it will get there at some point, but I think that for us, our strategy is focus on the human element.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. One thing that one of the many things I've been so impressed with with what you guys have built and your development as a leader is how you've been able to scale the organization through great leadership, great people. We talked about finding the yin to your yang in an organization full of amazing, happy people. How much do you focus on your own development, whether it's surrounding yourself by strong peers that push you to be your best, being inspired by older, wiser leaders? Where has that whole element played a role for you over the last 30 years?
It has over the last 30 years. It always will be my number one focus, is developing myself, getting better, learning, growing, new ideas. I mean, I'm probably a growth junkie, not just in the business side, but in making everything better. Yeah. So if I look at learning, while I went to 14 schools and only finished kindergarten, I literally love learning and asking questions. Right. I'm a curious person. I'm always wanting to learn about others, about how things work. Yeah. And I think when you stop learning, you're done. Yeah. And so for me, it's how do I bring my ideas and growth and development to the business? Yeah. It's an ongoing, forever thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Amazing. Brian, thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure and an honor. So thanks.
Congrats on what you built, man.
Thanks, man. Good stuff.